What's good, guys? Welcome back to Training 148, and today we're going to be identifying nickel pressure.
Little shoulder fake to throw it deep.
Cochran floats it up here for Davis in a triple coverage, and he comes down.
On 2nd and 10, Clemens pass near side of the field is caught. Airing it out, showing off the arm. What a catch. Touchdown, Geremy Davis.
Now again, if you guys have been watching my videos or you train with me, the first thing I always tell a receiver to do, when you break the huddle, what I want you to do, identify the safety structure, man. The shell of the defense tells you everything that's going to happen in a specific defensive coverage or defensive scheme. Now, when we're talking about nickel pressure, man, there's something specifically that happens that tips off what the defense is going to do in regards to bringing this pressure. Now, what is that, man? So right here, we got the Dallas Cowboys playing against the New York Giants. Now, what is that specific tip? So first off, we got to identify where's our nickel. Our nickel is this guy right here. And the nickel is just nothing but a cornerback or maybe a really good covering safety that comes in and replaces a Sam or Will backer in a nickel personnel, which is typically trying to match the personnel of the offense, which typically that is 11 personnel. Now, some teams like to maybe have their base personnel to be 11 personnel. That is totally fine, but typically in 11 personnel, you'll see the defense match that with nickel personnel, which again brings 5 DBs, 2 backers, and then your 4 down linemen. Like I said, right here, here's our nickel backer, guys. What is telling us that this nickel is about to bring pressure? Now, depending on the team or organization you come from, terms may be different, but they have the same meaning to it. What I come from, we like to say, oh, if this nickel is capped, then be alert for pressure. Now, I'm not going to say this is 100% true. I will say this is a high, like 96% true that this nickel's going to come. But when we see this safety right here is capped or hovering over the top of this nickel, we can expect pressure. And also, if we look at this nickel too, we see he has a hard inside leverage. Now, granted, could he play outside leverage? Yeah, but I think it'll make it more difficult for the DB have to cross face of the receiver and try to get the pressure on the pass game or the run game. So a lot of times you're going to see him starting to shade inside or maybe pre-snap already inside. Now, the reason why the safety is capped over the nickel is because of 2 things. Well, I guess mainly really one thing is that he's trying to replace the responsibility or whatever coverage it is that nickel would have in, say, coverage. So for instance, if it's a 11 dog pressure, and then guys, again, if you hear me say 11 dog, me saying 11, 22, 33 is just saying that the defense is in sub package, which in this case is nickel. So for instance, if this team was playing 11 dog, which is 5-man pressure coming from a linebacker position, Mike, Will, Sam, nickel, Will. Then once this nickel brings the pressure, this safety responsibility is to play man on this receiver in 11 dog. Now, we can also do the same thing if it was 33 dog. If it was playing 33 dog, again, cover 3, pressure here from the nickel, and now safety rotation here, and this guy now is playing curl flat. Now, a lot of times, too, guys, we got to recognize is typically the shell of the defense is going to shade towards the blitz, which shows you on the back end that something's coming. Now, let's actually watch clips of this happening. So right here, we got the Dallas Cowboys against New York Giants again. We see where our nickel is, heavy inside leverage. We see that the safety, his eyes are actually on number 2. So that could also be a tell, but I'm not going to act like you guys can identify all these little nuances in a quick aspect of a football game. But you do need to see the basic that, okay, this safety is capped over, or some people say topped, over the nickel backer. Boom, right there. So there's the pressure. Corner's a little late. So now you expect them, even if he's this late, because they're probably trying to hold it in the sky as long as they can. But look how late he is even with inside leverage. So it's hard to believe that the nickel would ever be outside and try to disguise and go with the pressure unless you're super fast and you can hold that disguise as long as possible to get away with it, then sure. But majority of times you're going to see inside leverage by the nickel guy. But again, let's watch this in its totality. Boom, safety rotation towards that way. He's picking them up in man. And we see that pressure. The Giants do a good job. I'm assuming they went maybe a rip protection to the right to Michael Parsons, of course. And then they just put the end man the backer on the end man coming, which is the nickel backer to protect. And at that point, you just got 5 for 5. Now we go over to this play with Chicago. So we see number 6 here. He's disguising like he's going to come. Now we can say this guy's essentially capped just as much, but at the same time, if you look over the backside strong safety, he's rotated down too. And I highly doubt they're about to play a 0 out of this look, so I wouldn't really say this is believable that 6 is coming here. But again, still have your antennas up, like, okay, could 6 be coming? But again, the way the shell, the defense is structured, he's not. And right there, we got our basic cover 3. Now, I will say there are a few outlier situations that I just saw Detroit Lions do against the 49ers where that safety was not really, capped over the nickel back or over Branch, and he sent pressure, and it really fooled the 49ers because typically if that guy's coming, you see a cap safety over the nickel. So let's hear how Troy Aikman explains this right here.
Well, the Lions do a really good job of disguising it because they usually would then bring this guy down, but instead he stays over the top. And so there wasn't the indicator to Purdy that they were bringing Branch. Now you'd like to kind of check it, but usually the rotation in the back end will give that away. But they hold it, they don't show it. And it's another reason why when I talked about Brian Branch liking him in the slot position, the ability to blitz like that.
So essentially, guys, that's how you identify nickel pressure. See if that nickel has a safety capped over him, inside leverage. Again, what's going to happen is that safety is going to replace responsibility of what that nickel corner would have in set coverage, 33, 11 dog, whatever it may be, or sorry, 11 or 33 coverage, whatever they may have. That will be the responsibility that safety's playing. So again, now that you know that guy's blitzing, hopefully the protection is already accounted for. Now you know you're being defended by a safety as opposed to that corner. And now you're able to maneuver the defense because you now know what's coming. So again, guys, that's how you identify nickel pressure. Trend 148. Like, subscribe. Peace.